Hey guys!
Hello, everybody.
Hope it's going well. It's sunny out.
Beautiful day today. We're doing it from the car. We're not driving anywhere. We just decided to switch up the scenery. So
Yeah, and we need something to hold the phone, so
yeah, so perfect spot.
we found it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We kind of wanted to give everybody, I guess, a sort of market update on what's going on and what we've noticed in the industry lately, and some kind of trends that we've been seeing.
Yeah, like mortgage wise.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about like what's going on the market.
Yeah, like price
houses.
increases,
Yeah.
like going over asking, but we wanted to mainly focus on mortgage
Mortgage
wise,
stuff,
because
yeah.
you guys already hear 24/7 about the prices rising, not enough properties for sale, tons of demand, all of that. We've heard it 20 times over.
Yeah. I also feel like people are stressed about it quite a bit, and
Yeah.
so I feel like sometimes when you have a lot of pressure on like finding the house or like having to make decisions super
yeah,
quickly,
yeah. It's more stressful.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, but don't let it get to you that much. Like it is, obviously it's gonna happen and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's just sometimes it gets really crazy and people make like risky decisions,
Or
because
they maybe
it's
move
like,
on a property that they wouldn't have otherwise. Like they kind of settle for a house,
Right.
and it's not that a house that they necessarily love. They're just like, well, there's nothing else available. This is what's
Right.
available in my budget. Well,
I've
do you
seen
need to
30
buy a house
houses,
today?
yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah.
So you really, really want to, but you don't need to. So I mean, like, you can wait.
Yeah.
It's okay to wait.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Some people, I feel like people feel stressed about
Yeah.
the timeline.
Yeah,
and,
they
like,
put themselves in a box where they're
Uh-huh.
like, it needs to happen by this
forget.
date because I've been given a notice to move. My landlord's selling the building, whatever. And
happens
it's like,
a
I
lot,
get it.
yeah.
You don't want to move twice. Nobody wants to move twice. But I mean, if you're not finding what you're looking for now, then
like yeah, just
it might
give
be better
yourself
to move twice. Give
yeah.
yourself some breathing room. Give yourself
Yeah.
some space.
Give yourself permission
Yeah.
to like actually take your time to find a house.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a big like purchase.
It's a
You
big
can't just, like, rush
investment.
into
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And I find like when there's too much pressure and it goes, there's too many timelines or whatever, that's usually when it doesn't go as smoothly as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, like,
Exactly. When you're
too
already
short.
stressed out.
Yeah, or
And
trying
yeah.
to get it to work for a certain date or like super short notice,
Yeah.
like super short closing date, like all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, and also what we actually wanted to talk about the most, I guess, in this case is that we're seeing a lot of if someone's on the fence, that's usually when they're gonna try to push things through,
Yeah.
or like really.
That's when typically people, like, if their file's on the fence, so maybe, credit's not A1, it's not bad, credit's not bad, but it's not super, super great. You don't have an 800 credit score or high 700s, you know what I mean? Maybe you just made it past 650, you've just got enough savings, it's
Or barely, like it depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in that situation, if you're on the fence or not quite ready yet,
but trying to push it through and trying to
make it work.
Yeah, make it ready.
Yeah.
Then that's when you tend to be most stressed out. And then we're noticing more and more so now that these are the deals that aren't going through now. Previously, like in the fall, last summer, yes, these deals were going through. And technically, like, these people do meet the insurer and the lender guidelines. Technically, you can be pre-approved. So we feel bad when we don't pre-approve you because technically you meet the qualifications. But then when we go to submit your deal, when you found a property and you have an accepted offer on it, and now we're sending it to the bank and we're sending it to the default insurers, well, now it's not getting approved because the volumes are so high with the banks right now that they're basically, like, I don't want to say picking and choosing who they want, but I mean, like,
that's
more or
what's
less,
going
that's
on.
kind of what's going on.
We're seeing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just so busy for everyone that everyone's kind of doing
yeah.
that a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
and I mean,
you
like, the
can
banks
tell.
can't fund every deal, right? Like, as much as they want to take on every client, they can't.
Yeah. So they're just being a little bit fussier about them in terms of as soon as there's like a few things in one file that's like negative, they're just probably going to be like a no or cosigner or whatever.
Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
jump really quickly to those conclusions.
Yeah,
like, just,
instead of sending it up to the insurer and seeing what the insurer is going to say, they're just going to say, no, you know
No,
what, we
not
can't send it
strong
without a
enough.
cosigner.
Yeah.
No,
So-
we don't want it because of this previous credit issue, even though they've reestablished their credit. We recognize that, but we feel that the risk is too high for us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, oh, if they're using their whole, especially when
Yes.
it's only one applicant.
Yeah.
All of
yeah.
this, especially when it's just one applicant on file, that sometimes makes it riskier for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll be like, oh, if they use their whole like savings, like they don't have anything to fall back on.
Yeah.
So if like credit's like slim or like new, if
Yeah.
your credit hasn't been established
Yeah.
for long and stuff. So it's just things that I feel like don't go
Previously,
too
it was like maybe like a little bit of an issue with the banks, but they were still approving the deals despite that. They would just kind of bring it up and want an explanation for it. Now they're like, they don't really care as much about the explanation in this point in time.
it's like yes or no.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
Yeah.
And also, while we're talking about it, just to clarify, because some people don't know, so a pre-approval doesn't
Yes.
mean that it's going to go through for sure. So we look at everything, we make sure that basically it fits in their box, like what they're going to look for.
Yeah, it fits the guidelines, it fits the qualifications.
So technically, with your income
And your down payment.
and down payment and your debts that you have
Yeah.
in the application, that it like that the numbers work.
Yeah,
But when
theoretically it should go through, it should be approved.
So that's a pre-approval. We're like, yes, like what we like to do though is to go extra and be like, what are they going to say when we
Yeah,
send it?
yeah.
So we try to do that so that we don't like give false hope.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And
it's
that's why
just-
we always tell you as well in our pre-approvals, it's still conditional financing. You still got to get the, I have to say yes, the bank has to say yes, and the default insurers have to say yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not just like us or even like the bank. If you go to the
Yeah.
bank,
It's not even
the
just the
person
bank.
that's checking it and giving you a pre-approval,
Same thing
it's
that
the
they're
exact
doing.
same thing.
They still
They're
got to get
just-
underwriting to approve it at their bank, and they still got to get the default insurers to approve it. So it's literally
Yeah.
the exact same
it's
process.
not their choice. It's that person
Yeah.
that said like, yeah, you're pre-approved. They're not the ones deciding once you find a house and you put an offer in and accept it. They're not the ones that, like basically saying like approved.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not.
They're then
submit
sending it somewhere else. Yeah.
So that's very important to know.
Yeah.
Which I mean, a lot of people, if someone tells you you're pre-approved, you just think like perfect.
Yeah,
Everything's
I'm
good,
approved.
right?
Everything's good. I got
So-
that stamp on there.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not how it works. I like to try to explain it to people so they understand and know what to expect.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess like next steps. So, anyway, so that's just a little bit of like what's going on. I feel like a lot of people too. I've seen people put, because now they're putting offers on houses very quickly.
Yes.
They don't have a lot of time to look at
Yeah.
the house, think about it, or hardly look at it sometimes.
Yeah, because the
Think
viewings are
about
so
it.
quick and so short because the realtors are trying to fit in as many people as possible.
Or
because-
having so many
yeah.
people interested, so
Yeah.
like you're kind of scared that someone else is going to put an offer, or other people are putting offers.
Yeah, exactly.
on the same house. So I feel like you don't have that luxury of time to like consider it and think about it and
Yeah.
sleep on it.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
I've seen a lot of people put offers on houses, and then the inspection comes back and they're like, oh, like we're not
Yeah.
sure anymore. But then they're kind of like debating, like, do we start over because it's just
Yeah.
so stressful to find a house,
Yeah.
and are we gonna find one? But I just feel like people need to chill out a little bit. Like come back to like outside of all the chaos and drama.
try to remove. I know it's easier said than done, but try to remove yourself from the situation and look at it objectively. Try to sit there and say, okay, well, if I wasn't feeling so stressed out and pressured to buy a house right now, would this be something that I would put up with, that I would be okay with? Are these repairs that I'm going to want to do? And like everything is always easier said than done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
I've had a few clients, that's what I told them. Like, look, if you're like really uncomfortable with the inspection and there's this and that, and you haven't even started like looking into it
Yeah.
like further, and you're like that's not what you're looking for, like really like
yeah.
think about that.
Yeah,
And, like,
don't just keep
Yeah.
going with it because you're
Follow
already
your
so
gut.
far into the process.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like it's not time wasted. You still learned things about it. It was still a valuable lesson. You still
Right,
found out
yeah.
what you wanted more so in a house, what you're looking for. It still gave you
process,
experience.
the
Yeah.
process. Yeah, I've had people like walk away from it before, like when the inspection or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, well, at least now I know what to expect till now.
Exactly.
Like the process, like
Yeah.
for the mortgage, for the bank. Like,
Yeah,
'cause,
yeah.
usually it's like, oh my gosh, I put an offer in a house. Like, what do I do now?
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's a
then
big
they're like-
panic.
and then everyone's like, you need to check for if you're like
Yeah.
insurance, us for the mortgage, send us
Inspection,
documents.
just so much all at once, and then
There's
people are
moving
like, "Oh my
parts.
god!"
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
And
too
then
much.
like another thing that people kind of get held up on is because like after they've done the inspection, they've already spent $500.
Right.
So some people, they also feel like financially invested in this, even though it is only $500. It's still it's still quite a bit of money. It's not
Yeah.
change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, should you still continue with the house just because you spent $500 on an inspection if it's not something that you really love or that you really want?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
obviously it's more expensive if you buy a house that's not, like,
Yeah.
that you have so many repairs or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna cost
exactly.
way more.
Exactly.
to buy a
Don't
house
just
like
continue
that.
on
Like,
because
yeah.
you've already invested 500, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you end up finding a house that doesn't need those repairs and is more what you're looking for, then you'll probably appreciate the fact that you just said, it's okay, I spent that 500, I'll spend another and find one that I like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So hopefully that can help.
Yeah.
Give some perspective, because I feel like a lot of people. A call.
There.
A lot of people. I forgot what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Oh my gosh! I had something.
Sorry. A lot of people just are getting like a little bit too stressed out or pressured right now to kind of proceed.
I had something really good.
Oh.
Oh well. Okay, I'll think
Next
about
one.
it. We'll do the next one.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
mention it in there.
Yeah, that's
Too
okay.
bad. Oh, nah. Okay, well, hopefully that helps. And to give, again, I'm saying the same thing. Maybe I'll
Just a little bit of an update or some insight into the way the market is and what we've been noticing mortgage wise too. And yeah.
Oh well. Okay, cool. Well, we'll be back next week. So
Yeah.
anyways, talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.